I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how to make your ex reattracted to you again. So if you're going through a breakup and you're trying to reattract somebody, it's really important that you avoid mistakes. Now, one of the hardest things about going through the breakup is that you're in these long periods where you're not in any contact with your ex, but then when they come back, you get so overwhelmed, so anxious, your judgment gets clouded, and you start to make mistakes. I see many people have an opportunity to reattract their ex, but when the time comes and their ex reaches out, they make a lot of mistakes. They don't stick to the plan. They don't stick to the ideas that we talk to each other about in a coaching, and those things are frustrating. So you really gotta hammer these ideas home while you're in no contact. And you have to realize that when your ex comes back, if you don't follow these strategies, you're likely going to do things that turn them off or make them lose interest. So I've got some of the ones that I see often today and areas and ideas for you that I really wanna make sure you don't make these mistakes, okay? Attraction is fragile, okay? Even with somebody you've been with for a long time, there are certain things, insecure behaviors that really turn people off. And when you're in a situation where the person is already turned off or, unsure about things, you really got to make sure that you avoid all of these things to give you the best chance of turning things around. Now, what I want you to realize and think about is that I'm not asking you to break no contact and start reaching out to your ex. A lot of these behaviors and things that I'm going to cover today are things that you're going to do when you're in contact with them and when you're in front of them again. Because ideally, what you want to do is see them in person. Don't start texting them for hours. Don't get on the phone with them for hours. Your goal is to reconnect in person. That's critical, okay? You always want to do your best to see them in person. Unless for some reason it's long distance and you don't have any opportunity to see them in person in the near future, you really want to reattract them in person, okay? So, when you get in front of them, it is very important that you stop trying to talk about the breakup. I made this mistake. I thought you have to talk about it. I kept thinking years ago, you just have to talk about it. If we could just talk about it, we can turn this around. But that's not what reattracts people, okay? That only reminds them of their concerns. That only reminds them of the things that you did wrong or that they weren't attracted to or the problems in the relationship and negative things. So if you continually are talking about the breakup, you're coming from a position of weakness and it's like you're trying, it's not flowing naturally. It's not like it was when you first met the person and there was a naturally strong attraction. So talking about the breakup is not a good idea. Now, if they bring it up, it's okay. But I don't want you to go out of your way to bring up the problems of the breakup. So, stop trying to talk about it. If it comes up, you do it, but don't make it your priority. All right, next big point. Stop trying to change their mind. Your goal is not to try and say, hey, I want to be your boyfriend again. Hey, I want to be your girlfriend again. That's trying to lock them down, and that's going to scare them. That's overwhelming. They're kind of dipping their toe in the pool. They're thinking about things. They're missing you. They're revisiting the idea of these things. Trying to lock them down and say, oh, I want us to be back together again. If you say that to them, it's going to likely scare them and push them away. So stop trying to do those things. Your goal is to get in front of them and have a great time. Now, many of you are dating somebody that has more of an avoidant attachment style. And we talk about how avoidants are often very scared. And when you're talking about commitment or what are we, because you're anxious, you want to lock them down in an answer. What are we? I want to know where we're at. I want to know what this is where this is gonna go. I know all of those things will scare an avoidant, especially. But even healthy, secure people don't want to just talk about getting back together right away. Not most of the time anyway. They want to take things slow. They want to see that things will be different. And that's another big point here. If you're not working on your attachment issues, and if you're not learning how to be a better partner, and how to improve your own mental health, how to improve how you are in a relationship, then quite honestly, the chances of it turning around are slim. I'm just being real with you guys. The relationship didn't work for a reason. Why? You have to understand that. Think about it. If this didn't work to the point where they wanted to end it, why would they jump back into a situation that isn't working again? Now, I'm not saying it's all your fault. Maybe it was mostly on them. But even in those situations, you've got to find a way to better yourself. And that's why I created the Creative Healing course and the Knowledge Workbooks. And you do those every day, it will make a huge difference. It will help you truly become secure. And I tell you guys that all the time because I want you to be successful. And you've got to stay focused on learning about attachment theory and all the things that we teach, because that is going to put you in a huge position of strength. And you always want to come from a position of strength. So, you're working on your attachment style, you're working on your issues, you're working on how to be a better partner, you get in front of them, you're showing that you're positive, you're relaxed, you're confident because you're not trying to change their mind, you're not trying to manipulate them, you're not talking about the breakup anymore. It's feeling more attractive. Think about it. You're having a good time. You're laughing. You're joking. And that's my next big point. Be present. Be in the moment with them. Don't think about where is this going. Don't think about when will I see you again. Don't bring those things up on the date. That's overwhelming again. Your job is simply to connect with them, to let them feel that connection with you, but not overwhelming them with your connection, not coming on so strong, but just showing that you're this relaxed, confident person. You can handle it no matter what comes your way. You're not going to try and force things. You're not going to try and, have an agenda with them. You're just there with them having a great time and letting them think, wow, I had a really great time tonight. That was more fun than I thought it was. Things like that. That's what you want to show them. And this is the last big point that I wanted to talk about in this video today. If you're afraid to be alone, you're going to wind up alone. I'm going to say that again. If you're afraid to be alone, you're going to wind up alone. Why? Well, I tell you guys this all the time, and I've said it for years. The very thing that we're afraid of, we cause to happen. Unconsciously, when we're afraid of something, we often act unnaturally to prevent it. So, if you're coming across like you're afraid to be alone, or you're afraid to lose them, you're going to. When you first started dating that person, were you afraid to lose them? No, you acted naturally. It's this fear that causes us to try and overcompensate and do manipulative, unhealthy strategies. This is why I'm talking to you guys about working on your attachment issues. When you really work through your attachment issues, you're going to be confident. You're not going to be afraid to be alone. You see what I'm saying? Way back when I first started the channel, I did a video called The Real Reason Relationships Fail. And I talked a lot about anxiety and how anxiety causes us to do unhealthy, unnatural things that turn people off. So when you get to a place where you're not afraid to lose them, you're not afraid to be alone, it comes across as very confident. And that confidence is one of the most attractive things that you can do. So when you get in front of them, you've got to show them, okay, I get it. I get where you're at. I get where you're coming from. I get how you feel about things, and show them that you're understanding and empathetic. And we talk a lot about this, especially in the creative healing course. There's a whole big section that talks about empathy and using these strategies in front of your ex. I think it's in section maybe 9 of the creative healing course. And we also talk about it in workbooks 5, 9, and 10, because it's really important that you're able to show them, okay, I'm coming from this place of confidence. I can act naturally to re-attract somebody. And when you do that, it comes across so genuine and so sincere that they're naturally going to feel drawn to you again. And you're going to minimize the mistakes that you would be making if you were anxious and insecure. These tips are incredibly important, but it takes work to get there. It's not going to magically happen. And you're going to see, if you aren't prepared, if you don't really do the work, when you get in front of your ex again, you're going to make these mistakes, and you're going to sit and think about what I've talked about here. You're going to see those mistakes have come up in your interactions with your ex, and how quickly they lose interest. So stay motivated. Do the creative healing course of the workbooks 30 minutes a day. Go back, review your answers. You'll see it will truly change your confidence level. And when you get in front of your ex, you're going to be a lot less likely to make mistakes and turn them off, okay? So hopefully this video has been helpful to you. If you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can also check out the workbooks there and my creative healing course. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.